Your Excellencies Ministers of Foreign Affairs, Your Excellencies Ministers of Agriculture, distinguished commissioners, dear colleagues of the African Union Commission, former commissioners of the African Union Commission, the representative of the regional economic community, esteemed parliamentarian, honorable ambassadors and the representative of the diplomatic corps, valued development partners, head of delegation, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol duly observed. Good morning to every one of you. Bon dia, bonjour, buenos dias, jambo, salam alaikum. I am Josepha Lionel Correa Saku, the African Union Commissioner in charge of agriculture, rural development, blue economy, and sustainable environment. It is an honor to moderate this session of the extraordinary summit of heads of state and government of the African Union on agriculture, the CAADP agenda. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to this General Assembly. We will commence the extraordinary summit of heads of state and government of African Union with statement from His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Musa Faki Mohammed, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Taye H.K. Selassie, President of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and African Union CAADP leader, Her Excellency Madame Boris Sanger, the State Minister Norway and representative of the development partner, His Excellency João Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola and First Vice President of the African Union and representing His Excellency President of the Mauritania, the current African Union Chairperson. Following this statement, we will have a group photo with eye-level opening segment, and then we be followed by a closing session. The closed section will include the adoption of the work program presentation and adoption of the draft Kampala CAADP declaration by His Excellency Frank Mutazebe. We will also hear intervention from head of state and government and concluding remarks by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and His Excellency João Lourenço, following by the African Union and Uganda's anthem. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, a year ago, the 44th Ordinary Section of the Executive Council mandated the African Union Commission to develop a 10-year CAADP strategy and action plan 2026-2035 as a successor of the Malabo agenda. Since then, the Commission has engaged in a robust and inclusive process to develop the post-Malabo agenda. Today, we present the outcome of this process, which includes the draft CAADP strategy and action plan 2026-2035 and the draft Kampala CAADP declaration. 3 days ago, the Ministers of Agriculture examined these documents and provided valuable recommendations and for improvement. Yesterday, the joint meeting of Ministers of Agriculture and Ministers of Foreign Affairs endorsed these documents and made recommendations to the General Assembly for adoption. A key motivation in this Kampala CAADP declaration round, in contrast to Malabo and Maputo round, is the inclusion of a comprehensive strategy and action plan, unlike previous iteration that focused solely on the declaration. These allow member states to begin implementing immediately after your adoption today. We now have a clear roadmap, a theory of change that outline the pathway for transformation, realistic and implementable strategic objective, a broadened policy scope, enhancing food system approaches and targets that reflects the continent's aspiration. This inclusive design process ensures we are well prepared to work towards the agricultural transformation vision outlined in Agenda 2063. Their adoption during this summit will shape Africa's food system, Africa agri-food system transformation over the next decades, over the next 10 years. Excellencies, distinguished guests, it is my privilege and honor to call His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, to present his opening statement. Excellency, you have the floor.
Your Excellencies, Excellencies, the heads of state and heads of delegations to this CAADP summit, all the other invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think it may be better to put earphones on because I heard better when I put earphones on than when I did not have them. There is something with the acoustics which is not. When you put on earphones, you hear better. I was hearing better at least. Excellencies, right from the 1960s, when our political movement started, initially as a student movement, we were able to see that a country like Uganda, located around the equator, could be very advanced and prosperous on the basis of the four sectors of the economy. These four were identified as commercial agriculture, manufacturing, services, and ICT. In the pre-colonial and colonial times, our economy was mainly pre-capitalist and based on subsistence agriculture, or kola ekida chonka in our language, meaning working only for the stomach, for home consumption. We also had some artisan craft skills such as obhesi, blacksmithing, kubeja, woodwork, kunogora, ceramics, etc., and some primordial services such as kuragura, healing, etc. By the end of the colonial times, only 9% of the homesteads were in the narrow colonial cash economy, described as, in quotes, enclave economy, meaning a small island of modernity surrounded by a sea of underdevelopment. That enclave economy of the colonial economy of Uganda was described as the economy of the 3 C's and 3 T's. The 3 C's being coffee, cotton, and copper, and the 3 T's being tobacco, tea, and tourism. The agricultural and the mineral products being mainly exported as raw materials without making final products out of them, except for some small effort of the Nile textile factory of only 23 million meters, started by a progressive British governor, Andrew Cohen, who arrived in Uganda in 1952. Our line, therefore, ever since the 1960s, has been as follows. A, fully commercialize agriculture to achieve food security and homesteads income security by undertaking agricultural enterprises guided by the HVRO. We use this word HVRO, meaning to calculate the maximum possible returns given the size of the family land. B, in commercializing agriculture, use the strategy of intensive agriculture for families of 4 acres or less, and extensive agriculture for families of bigger lands. With intensive agriculture, you select high-value enterprises which, though you do them on a small scale, you get good family income. While with extensive agriculture, you can adopt low-value crops, which when you do them on a big scale, you still get good money, good income for the family because of the scale. C, the country needs both the products of intensive agriculture and extensive agriculture because many times one needs the other. D, in our 1996 election manifesto, we identified 7 enterprises for intensive agriculture. And these were coffee, 1 acre, fruits, 1 acre, dairy products, 1 acre for pasture, for dairy cows, then 1 acre for food crops for the family within those 4 acres. And then poultry for eggs and piggery in the backyard, back of the house, at the back. It's called a kanyima or a manju. I think in Swahili they call it uwani, at the backyard there. Plus fish farming for those near the wetlands, on the periphery of the wetlands, not in the center. In our calculation, crops like cotton, tea, maize, sugarcane, and enterprises like ranching could only make money for the family when they are done on a medium or large scale. Recently, our people have been adding crops like palm oil, cocoa, and cashew nuts on the list of the high-value crops that can give good incomes to the families, even if you do them on 1 acre. To do some of the intensive agriculture enterprises, you need inputs from the extensive agriculture products. To produce poultry feeds, animal feeds for pigs, fish meals, etc., you need maize, sugar byproducts, etc. If you are to import all these, it may render your products uncompetitive. We had to do this, Your Excellencies, because in the colonial times and in the post-colonial times, they would make our people grow things like cotton. You hear that Uganda is producing a lot of cotton. Yes, Uganda was producing a lot of cotton. But the families which were producing the cotton were in poverty because nobody had bothered to calculate what is the average land size of the family land. If it is only 2 acres, and you put 1 acre under cotton, and the other acre for food, how will the family get out of poverty? If cotton is a low-value crop. So that's why we had to say no. It's not just big production for the country, it is production for enough income for the family also, so that they get out of poverty. G, after waking up our people as to the crucialness of commercial agriculture and rationalizing it, we then realized the danger and the unfairness of confining ourselves to just producing raw materials for other countries far away to transform into finished products. A kilogram of coffee may give us US dollars 2.5 as a raw material. However, the same kilogram roasted, ground into powder, and packaged will give the cleverer foreigners who added those steps abroad US dollars 40. So Africans get $2.5 per kilo, and the same kilo transformed into finished products by foreigners bring them $40. This is how Africa has been a major donor to the parts of the world that are managed by cleverer people. Sorry to use these words. We do not only lose money per kilogram of coffee, we also lose jobs. The roasting jobs, the grinding jobs, and the packaging jobs are done by the children of the foreigners, while Africa's children are drowning in the Mediterranean Sea, going to prosperous Europe and running away from the impoverished Africa. I normally tell people that a shirt like the one I'm putting you on, which is made here in Uganda, has got 6 job levels. This shirt here. Level 1, grow the cotton. Level 2, gin the cotton. Ginning means remove the seeds from the cotton. Now, in many African countries, that's where they end. They end at ginning. Level 3, spinning. Spinning, you get the thread from the cotton. Level 4, weaving to make a fabric. Level 5, putting colors. Level 6, tailoring. So out of the 6 job levels, Africa has been ending at, many of the African countries have been ending at level 2. All the other levels out, the money goes away, but also the jobs. All those go away. The battle for value addition has been a big one because there are lobbies that want to keep Africa as a raw materials producing continent. In Uganda, we have moved in some areas, a bit in textiles, a lot in the dairy products, a lot on fish, a lot on sugar, a bit on maize, a bit on leather, a bit on furniture and wood products, etc. What is true of agriculture, agricultural raw materials, is of course also true of the raw materials of minerals, forest products, etc. Uganda discovered some oil about 20 years ago. Up to now, we have not started pumping the oil out of the ground. We're about to start. But the main problem was we didn't agree with the oil companies because they were saying that we should build a pipeline to take the oil, the petroleum, out of the country. Then I told them that I had a rumor that there were human beings here. Why don't we process this petroleum for these human beings who are rumored to be here? It's not confirmed, but there's a rumor that there are some big battle. They told me that oil refineries don't make money. So then I said, but if they don't make money, those who run them, why do they run them? Are they Mother Teresa's? Now, I happened to go to Iran. I went to Iran. When I went there, I said, you people, do you have oil refineries? They said, yes, we have 9. Iran had 9 refineries. Now, here they didn't want me to have 1, just 1. So because of those battles, it took time, but now eventually they gave up. We shall build the refinery and the pipeline also. And the main reason I support the pipeline is that it will go through Tanzania, my other country, so that they can get some share in our resource, which is theirs also. But that's why it's a very big battle. You can imagine somebody arguing, and when they made a calculation, the oil refinery here is very, very productive, very profitable. What they call the internal rate of return is IRR. It's very high, much higher than in other places. So that war of wanting to keep Africa as a raw material producing continent is a very big one. The value addition to agricultural products, this is H, ensures vertical integration in the agricultural sector, from the garden to the table, and from the farm to the wardrobe, for clothes, shoes, etc. However, it also ensures horizontal integration with the other sectors, manufacturing, services, etc. How can you say that you are promoting tourism when all the food the tourists eat is being imported? In Uganda, the hotels serve Ugandan liquid milk, yogurt, butter, sugar, fruits, beef, etc. On account of reasons I cannot understand, some Ugandans insist on eating wheat bread and rice. At 80 years of age, I am very comfortable with my meals of cassava, muhogo, millet, obro, meat a few times in a week, milk for my coffee, bananas, ebinyebwa, groundnuts, obushaza, peas, ebihimba, beans, and fruits, all Ugandan products. It is the bread eaters and the rice eaters that cause us to import some food. I do not eat chicken, pigs, eggs, etc. because I'm from the savannah, but they are abundantly available. Therefore, in Uganda, the hospitality industry is firmly integrated with our agriculture except for rice and wheat. In order to launch our agriculture on the journey of socio-economic transformation away from the pre-capitalist, pre-socialist traditional mode to modern commercial agriculture, we have done the following. Roman 1, politically mobilize through sensitization, the people to move away from the pre-money, working only for the stomach, to commercial agriculture with the chibaro, with the cultivation. 67% of the homesteads in Uganda are now in the money economy for the first time in human history. At independence, only 9% were in the money economy. By 2013, only 32% were in the money economy. That is why I had to involve the army to distribute seedlings. We had to involve the army to distribute seedlings. I was begging these villagers to get out of poverty. They are in poverty, but they are not bothered. So we had to go there and beg them, please, please, get out of poverty. Here is coffee seedlings, plant them. Roman 2, through scientific research, ensure good quality seeds. I salute our scientists for developing a long list of improved seeds, higher yields, disease-resistant, drought-resistant, etc. Roman 3, sensitize farmers about the best agro practices, spacing, mulching, water conservation, etc. 4, ensure disease control, immunization, spraying against pests, etc. 5, ensure food safety against aflatoxins. 6, to stabilize agriculture, have standby irrigation using gravity or solar-powered water pumps. This will eliminate the risks of the erraticness of the rain. 7, use fertilizers to restore the nutrients in the soil. 8, conduct soil mapping to determine what can grow where. 9, discourage land fragmentation on inheritance because it creates land with disability, land that can no longer do certain enterprises because of the smallness. With these measures, Africa will be a superpower economically. Since ancient times, this part of Africa had strong agriculture. We always have 2 harvests in a year. The harvest of Katumba, the season of March to end of May, and Omwaka, the big harvest of August to December. The harvest of May is called Wijegashe, the small harvest, and the one of August to December is called Omwaka, the big yearly harvest. All this was with the traditional technology and just the rain-fed agriculture. In some areas, however, there was some irrigation in ancient Egypt and the Kilimanjaro area. When Henry Morton Stanley walked through this area, Congo, Uganda, Tanzania, between 1887 and 1889, he wrote as follows on pages 298 and pages 371 to 372, respectively, of his book entitled In Darkest Africa, Volume 2. This is in quotes. A march of an hour and a half in the afternoon, apparently not far from the river, brought us to the populous district of the Babusese. The banana plantations were very extensive, reminding me of Uganda, and their shades covered a multitude of huts. This was in the diary of Henry Stanley, which he wrote on December 5th, 1887. In Congo, he was in Congo, Ituri area. Fields of millet and sesame, plots of sweet potatoes occupied the outskirts of these plantations. And there was ample evidence round about that the land was thickly peopled and industrially cultivated. Later on, while traveling through the Riz area of Ankole in Uganda, he wrote as follows: crossing a narrow neck of land, descended into the basin of the Rizi. By degrees, the mist atmosphere of this region was clearing, and we could now see about 5 miles distance and the control of the pastoral plateau of Ankole. It was not by any means at its best. It was well into the drought season. The dry season had commenced 2 months previously. Hilly range, steep cone, hammock and plain were clothed with grass ripe for fire. The herds were numerous and all as fat as prize cattle. In the valley, we had passed over 4,000 cattle of the longhorned species. The basin of the Rizi, which we are now in, and which was the heart of Ankole, possessed scores of the finest herds of cattle I had never seen before. This was a white man, Henry Morton Stanley, who came through this area in 1887, 1889. That's what he wrote. Found very powerful agriculture. He was clearly amazed by the scale of production. Therefore, this Africa of having no food, of begging, is not the real Africa, but the colonial and neo-colonial Africa. It is a shame. I need to conclude my remarks by talking about the issue of water for livelihood and for production, as well as the need for removing the non-tariff barriers in the CFTA Continental Free Trade Area. Uganda is lucky in that we have a lot of water. Our major problem is to persuade our uninformed or misinformed people by guiding them to stop undermining our water resources by encroaching on the wetlands, the forests, the catchment areas, the river banks, and the lake shores. Some other parts of Africa, however, are not so lucky. Northern Africa has got a water problem. Even Southern Africa gets periodic shortages of water. Here in the Nile Valley, we are always arguing about the 85 billion cubic meters of that river at Khartoum, the River Nile. In the past, I posed a question to Dr. Boutros Ghali of Egypt, the following questions. Question number 1. Are you aware that the Congo River has got 3,000 billion cubic meters of water per annum going into the Atlantic Ocean? Because here in the Nile, we are quarreling about 85 billion cubic meters of water at Khartoum. But the River Congo is 3,000 billion cubic meters of water per year. In other words, the River Congo is equivalent to 30 Niles. Nile 1, Nile 2, Nile 3, Nile 3, 30 of them in the River Congo. Now, all this water is going into the Atlantic Ocean every year, just going. Is the Atlantic Ocean thirsty for water? Since this is a high-level meeting of Africa, you can tell me whether the Atlantic Ocean is thirsty for water, all this water which is going. Why doesn't Africa discuss with our brother people of Congo about how this massive water that is not used could help the water-stretched parts of Africa? Another question: is Africa aware of the technology of desalination? Because we spend so much time talking about so many things. But I have never heard people talking about desalination. Desalination happens in nature, done by the sun, evaporating ocean water into vapor that eventually becomes rain. Why doesn't Africa intensively study this? If the cost of desalination goes down, Egypt and other coastal countries would become upstream countries, while we that harbor the origin of the Nile would become downstream countries. If this technology of desalination of seawater becomes cheap, then the countries near the ocean can even send us water from the ocean. On the issue of non-tariff barriers, there is no doubt that they undermine the advance of agriculture in Africa. Uganda easily produces all types of agricultural products: maize, sugar, milk, beef, poultry products, etc. The internal market is not enough. However, production is disrupted when in some years, some of the brother countries say they have bumper crops and de-license Ugandan products. Why do you de-license products of a brother country? If you have a bumper crop, let the products compete. I had some issues here with some of the Ugandan inefficient rice growers. Tanzanian rice is better and cheaper. So they were saying I should ban Tanzanian rice. I said, no, I cannot do that. If you are inefficient, get out of business, go and do something else. If you have a bumper crop, let the products compete. After the Ugandan product has been de-licensed, then you hear that the licensing country has now a shortage of this or that. Can they now import it from Uganda? By that time, the Ugandan farmers have been rendered bankrupt and have migrated to new products such as coffee that are mainly bought by foreigners away from Africa. How would African agriculture sustainable advance with this erraticness? I thank everybody.
Yeah, thank you very much, His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, for your insightful statements. Maintenant, j'ai le privilège et l'honneur d'inviter Son Excellence Moussa Faki Mahamat, le président de la Commission de l'Union africaine.
Faki Mahamat, the chairperson of the African Union Commission. Excellency, you have the floor. Maybe you can speak from where you are.
Your Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, or host. Your Excellency João Manuel Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola and Chair of the Summit. Your Excellency Tai Selassie, President of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and champion of the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program, CAADP. Excellencies, Head of State, Government and Delegations, Honorable Ministers, Madam Deputy Chairperson of the African Union Commission, esteemed African Union Commissioners, representatives of the regional economic communities, representatives of our development partners, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great joy that I set foot in this splendid verdant city of Kampala, which has been decked out in all its colors to host this important African Union extraordinary summit to assess the situation of agriculture in our continent. I'm particularly pleased to address to His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, to the government and the brotherly people of Uganda, my best wishes for the year 2025 and my warm thanks for the quality of the welcome marked by brotherhood and the special attention, and even more for all the efforts made to ensure the best conditions for success in the organization of this summit. Holding a summit on agriculture in Africa in Kampala is the right thing to do, a wonderful sign of recognition of your total commitment, President Museveni, to farmers and headers. You yourself are a farmer. You are also a champion of transforming agriculture into a powerful lever for wealth creation for the people of Africa. Excellency, ending my tenure in African Union, I think I should come here to learn farming from your experience. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Africa is proud to have more than 60% of its population young. It is also proud to have 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land, water and forest resources that place it at the forefront of the world. This is why it is deeply questioned about its current paradoxical food security situation. Hunger still kills in Africa. The profound disaffection between the land and African youth, the disaffection of these young people with agriculture and the rural world, their break with the ancestral world toward urban uncertainties and perilous immigration, all these increase our existential drama. Who do we hold responsible for such phenomena? Not on the youth, for sure, but on our systems that have failed to promote efficient strategies that generate hope and prosperity in our lands. Such concerns have been yours, have been ours. You thus opted for an institutional solution through CAADP, adopted by the Assembly of the Union in 2003 in Maputo, Mozambique. This ambitious program has been implemented since 2014 within the framework of the Malabo Declaration. The various biannual evaluations of the commitments made by member states initiated in 2017 under this declaration certainly show progress toward achieving the set objectives, but at an unsatisfactory pace of progress. This is why I would like to welcome the preparatory work undertaken by the African Union Commission, ODA-NEPAD, the regional economic communities, and experts of our member state, as well as our technical and financial partners, in preparing the post-Malabo Declaration, or what will be known as the Kampala Declaration, submitted here today for your approval. It symbolizes the sum total of all the efforts made upstream in identifying all the negative factors that lie at the root of the low rate of the attainment of our set objectives for agriculture sector on the continent. Excellences, Monsieur le Président, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs les chefs d'État, de gouvernement et de délégation, Mesdames, Messieurs, il est clair aujourd'hui.
It is clear today that despite all these commendable efforts, the food and nutrition security situation in Africa has not structurally changed. Hundreds of millions of Africans continue to suffer in total despair from famine. They languish in destitution and extreme nutritional fragility. Without indulging in self-flagellation, we cannot be truly proud of our results. Our conscience would revolt against us. To face this major challenge courageously is our greatest task of the moment. Clearly, many factors could explain this shocking dichotomy between our immeasurable potential and the state of the poignant needs of our peoples in terms of food and nutrition, in the face of which all the discourse on food sovereignty loses its credibility. Among these factors are those linked to external events, which of course are beyond our control. I refer to the wars outside and inside Africa, like the Russia-Ukraine war, the Sudanese conflict in which 30 million people are living in a humanitarian tragedy. We must also mention the pandemics, natural disasters, recurring droughts and floods, and other El Nino phenomena. Thus, climate change continues to threaten our food systems and expose us to very serious risks of famine and undernourishment in many regions of the continent. On the other hand, some factors are directly of our making. Here is a striking example. The Maputo Summit of 2003 had coupled the establishment of the Comprehensive Agricultural Development Program with the important decision requesting member states to devote 10% of their annual budget to agriculture. The level of implementation of the decision has not been assessed. Similarly, it will be relevant to ask the questions, that is, the report on the implementation of the Malabo Declaration and the biennial reviews have not been submitted. The problem that is getting dangerously worse. Not only is the disaffection for manual agricultural work deepening, but rural exodus and immigration are widening the gap. The projection of UN Habitat indicates that in 2030, that is in 5 years' time, Africa will have 824 million city dwellers, or that is 48.4% of its population. In the absence of drastic measures to stabilize populations and ensure prosperity in rural areas, the phenomenon will inevitably worsen and suffocate cities with all the attendant risks of destabilization. Faced with these challenges, what can be done? First, we must make agriculture a real priority sector. We must put the hoe in the museum and correlatively invest in the acquisition of appropriate means of agricultural production. I'm here referring to mechanization, digitalization, enrichment of soil, and so on, to be used in compliance with environmental balances and with a constant concern for adaptation to climate change. To do this, we must find the necessary additional resources. Pending access to such funding, we have the imperative duty to protect our arable lands from being taken over by external powers, which since the surge in food prices in 2008 have considered Africa as the last agricultural frontier of the world. Although water is unevenly distributed across the continent, as it has been so rightly said by President Museveni, the practice of irrigation, currently capped at only 6% of arable land, deserves to be included in the practices for the purpose of improving soil health in addition to the use of agricultural inputs. In this respect, I wish to stress the crucial role of the private sector in the promotion of agro-industry, as well as our great expectation from the fallout of the operationalization of the Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA. Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the immensity of the task that awaits us, the measure of which is well grasped in the Kampala Declaration and more specifically in the new strategy and in the new 10-year plan of action to 2026-2035, afford me the opportunity to commend the remarkable work accomplished by the Agriculture, Rural Development, Blue Economy and Environment Department under the leadership of Commissioner Mrs. Josefa Sako, to whom I pay deserved tribute. In the same dynamics, we are all called upon to face all the challenges with perseverance and assurance, to take them up with an enthusiastic passion that definitively brings out of the baptismal font the Africa we want. This Africa will rest on the foundation of the victory to be won on the agricultural front, the keystone of any development process. I thank you for your kind attention.
Merci beaucoup, mon chef.
Thank you very much, boss, for your very brilliant statement.
I would like to have a privilege and honor to call His Excellency Taye Selassie, the President of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and African Union CAADP leader to present his opening statement.
Your Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency Juan Manuel Lourenço, President of the Republic of Angola and Vice Chair of the African Union, Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Your Excellency Musa Faki Mohammed, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Your Excellency Haile Mariam Desalegn, former Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and AGRA Board Chair, distinguished colleagues, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm deeply grateful to the government and people of Uganda for the warm hospitality extended to us, our arrival in this beautiful country and breathtaking resort. Hosting this extraordinary summit reflects Uganda's steadfast commitment to advancing Africa's agri-food system, and we are truly honored by such generosity and support. It is indeed a distinct honor to address this august assembly on behalf of His Excellency Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia and champion of the comprehensive African Agriculture Development Program. I stand before you today to call upon the urgent need for a renewed collective commitment and concerted action to achieve our shared vision for an Africa that is food sovereign and prosperous. This summit marks a defining moment for Africa, where we will be able to chart out the course of the continent's agri-food system. The Kampala CAADP Declaration, which follows the crucial Malibu Declaration, signifies a renewed commitment to best propel progress and delivering tangible outcomes for our people. It underscores our resolve to address emerging challenges, harness new opportunities, and build a resilient, inclusive, and prosperous agri-food system in Africa. Excellencies and ladies and gentlemen, as we discuss post-Malibu CAADP strategy, Africa's agri-food system are undergoing transformative change driven by a complex interplay of economic, demographic, technological, environmental, and climate factors. Over the next decade, understanding these dynamics will be crucial for stakeholders. I would therefore like to emphasize on the following 4 essential elements, which I believe would transform our agri-food system, fostering economic growth and improving livelihoods across the continent. First, rapid urbanization. The impact of urbanization in Africa, particularly the growing demand of freshly processed foods and ready-to-eat meals, significantly reshapes consumption patterns in urban areas. Thank you. This shift creates a vital linkage between smallholder farmers and expanding domestic markets driven by sustained economic growth and growing middle class. Nonetheless, we have to note that in view of Africa's rapid population growth, meeting the increasing demand for diverse and high-quality food products will present challenges. Secondly, the huge potential of technological innovation, such as digital agriculture, precision farming, and other advancements are pivotal to transform our agri-food system. These technologies can enhance productivity, improve efficiency, and increase access to information and market for farmers. This indeed is attainable as Rwanda effectively employed digital soil mapping and used drones to monitoring crops health and assessing damage from pests and diseases. Though few in number, African countries such as Egypt and Morocco have also improved traceability of agricultural products, ensuring food safety and improving supply chain efficiency. Ethiopia's collaboration with the African Development Bank brought forth climate-smart and heat-resistant wheat varieties, making the country as one of the leading wheat producers in Africa. Thirdly, empowering women and engaging the youth will unlock the full potential of the sector as they are the drivers of innovation and resilience in our food system. Angola and Uganda recognize the crucial role of women and youth in transforming their agriculture, particularly in expanding access to resources, developing agribusiness, incubators, mentorship programs, and enhancing market linkages. Fourth, fostering regional policies such as the Africa Continental Free Trade Area is essential for expanding market access, improving food security, and creating more resilient food systems across the continent. Ghana's achievement in reducing poverty by half through agriculture by 2025 serves as an inspiring example for the transformative potential of improved food security. The full realization of the African Continental Free Trade Area promises to amplify the success of many African countries who are determined to be on track in building a resilient system in food security. Excellencies, this summit is a culmination of an inclusive and collaborative process that has brought together a diverse range of key players and stakeholders. Continental and regional bodies such as the African Union Commission, AUDA, NEPAD, and regional economic communities have played a crucial role in facilitating cross-border collaboration and monitoring progress towards the CAADP goals. Moreover, through extensive consultation and workshop with member states and development partners, we have ensured that all key actors have meaningfully contributed. This participatory approach underscores our collective commitment to addressing Africa's agri-food challenges and opportunities through a lens of inclusivity and shared responsibility. Incorporating this diverse perspective has enriched the summit discussions and strengthened the foundation for actionable outcomes. The technical groundwork for this summit has been equally rigorous and comprehensive. The draft CAADP strategy and action plan for 2026 to 2035 was prepared with meticulous attention, guided by the African Union Specialized Technical Committees, whose endorsement has been invaluable. Contributions from experts and researchers have provided critical evidence-based insight that ensure the strategy is both impactful and achievable. These efforts highlight the importance of leveraging technical expertise to build a robust framework for Africa's agri-food system transformation. I call on the Permanent Representatives Committee, PRC, to actively engage in reviewing the CAADP Kampala Declaration and the 10-year strategy and action plan. As an advisory body to the Executive Council, the PRC holds a critical responsibility to ensure these frameworks address Africa's priorities for sustainable agri-food system and align with the aspiration of member states. Excellencies, Mr. Chairman, the African baskets, where our mothers and sisters carry across Africa, whether we call it Ikbo or Iksiro here in Uganda, or Agobo in Nigeria, or Kenten in Ghana, Kikapu in Swahili, or Sala in Northern Africa, or Lemat in Ethiopia. The African basket, a powerful symbol of bountiful harvests, embodies the hearts of Africa's livelihoods and our food system. As we embark on the transformative journey towards a modern agri-food system, let this African basket symbolize our unwavering commitment to ensuring that every African has access to safe nutrition and affordable food. As I conclude, let us reaffirm the significance of this summit and the Kampala Declaration in guiding our journey towards sustainable agricultural transformation. I want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to the African Union Specialized Technical Committee led by its chair, Honorable Frank Tumbaza, and the EU Commissioner, Ambassador Joseph Sako, for their exceptional efforts in leading the development of CAADP Kampala Declaration, Strategy and Action Plan. Together, let us move forward with a determination and purpose, committed to realizing our shared vision for Africa's agri-food system. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Excellency President Selassie, for your brilliant and insightful statement. Thank you. The next presenter, I don't know if the representative of the development partner that we present a statement on behalf of the development partner is in the room. If she is the State Minister, Madame Borge Sangrier, the State Minister of Norway. You have the floor. I don't know if protocol can assist me to find out if the representative of the development partner. Huh? Oh, okay, she's coming. Thank you. You have the floor, Minister.
Thank you very much. Madam Chair, Excellencies, Heads of State, Ministers, representatives of AU Member States, the AU Commission, AUDA NEPAD, the REX development partners, most of all, friends and partners. Allow me to begin by offering my most sincere congratulations to Your Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and the government of Uganda for the exceptional hosting of this summit. The success of this event reflects Uganda's unwavering commitment to fostering cooperation and dialogue across the continent. I would also like to take this opportunity to express our profound gratitude to the people of Uganda for your warm and gracious hospitality, which has made our stay both comfortable and memorable. Now, Excellencies, it is an honor to address you today, representing the members of the Development Partners Coordination Group, as we collectively renew our commitment to support the transformation of Africa's agri-food systems under the Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Programme. Since its inception in 2003, the development community has provided financial and technical support to a whole range of agricultural and food security efforts, and together we have witnessed notable progress. But we also know that significant gaps remain. Despite impressive gains in food production and agricultural growth, challenges persist in achieving the ambitious goals of poverty reduction, of food security, and inclusive growth as laid out in the CAADP framework. Now today, we stand at a pivotal moment. We've heard, as development partners, the strong message from the discussions that have taken place at this summit. We've heard the reaffirmation of the commitment by member states to a transformative agenda, an agenda that shifts from traditional agriculture-led growth to a more holistic and integrated agri-food systems approach. And I would like to also say how much we, as development partners, look forward to collaborate to implement the Kampala Declaration. This new strategy emphasizes the critical role of agri-food systems, not just in economic growth, but in ensuring food security, improved nutrition, and sustainable health outcomes for all. We commend this bold vision, which aligns with the continent's broader aspirations for prosperity, resilience, and inclusive development through the AU Agenda 2063. We, as development partners, have issued a statement during this summit stating that we stand ready to support this ambitious transformation, as highlighted in the new CAADP strategy and action plan that will start from 2026 and go to 2035. Strengthening governance will be essential for creating resilient and sustainable agri-food systems across Africa. The signatories are fully committed to supporting African countries and regional bodies in harmonizing CAADP with their national and regional investment plans. Now, Excellencies, we also recognize that achieving these goals will require more than just public sector financing. While domestic and international public investments are crucial, mobilizing private sector investment is equally essential for building sustainable and market-driven solutions. To this end, we commit to working closely with African leaders to develop tools and strategies that can help unlock private sector financing, ensuring that it complements the public investments and accelerates progress. So in very specific terms, we as development partners will collaborate with the African Union and its member states on several key actions. And Excellencies, please allow me to mention 3 of these. The first is to work together to ensure that national and regional agri-food systems plans are aligned with the new CAADP strategy and the forthcoming Kampala Declaration. This includes reviewing processes and tools to ensure coherence between the continental vision and country-level actions. Second, we will collaborate with the AU institutions to establish frameworks that enhance coordination and review development assistance in line with the strategic objectives of the Kampala Declaration. We will work to align our support and investments with national and regional priorities. That includes exploring innovative financing modalities to support sustainable, resilient agri-food systems. And the third action, Excellencies, that I would like to mention is that we will support efforts to build governance frameworks that foster transparency and accountability, key elements for effective policy implementation. Effective governance will ensure that African countries not only meet, but exceed the ambitious targets that have been set. Now, dear friends, we would also like to commend the African Union Commission, with particular thanks to Commissioner Sacco for your immense dedication to implement the Malabo Declaration. The Commissioner has ensured that the development of the next CAADP has been consultative and inclusive. The Kampala Declaration, as we will be discussing today, is an impressive legacy, Commissioner Sacco, as your tenure as AU Commissioner comes to an end. So we all have appreciated your dedication and your leadership, so we thank you. So finally, ladies and gentlemen, the implementation of the Kampala Declaration will make CAADP an important pillar in realizing the AU 2063 agenda, the Africa that you as leaders have envisioned. And in this respect, we as development partners look forward to a strengthened and continued partnership. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Bird, for your stern commitment to support this ambitious strategy and action plan 2026-2035. We've been working for 2 decennies and we count on our development partner to continue. We know that we are ready to implement after the adoption. Thank you very much, and thank you for acknowledging my efforts to this journey. Huh? Yeah, the last one. Agora, é o meu privilégio e honra
I have the honor and privilege of inviting His Excellency João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço, the President of Angola, my beloved country, and the Vice President of the AU Bureau, on behalf of His Excellency Mohamed Ould Lahoun, the substantive President of the African Union, for his opening remarks. Excellency, you have the floor.
Sua Excelência Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Presidente da República do Uganda, nosso anfitrião, Suas Excelências Chefes de Estado e de Governo, Suas Excelências Representantes dos Chefes de Estado e de Governo, Excelentíssimos Ministros, caros Embaixadores, minhas senhoras, meus senhores. É com a mais elevada honra que, na qualidade de primeiro vice-presidente da mesa da Conferência dos Chefes de Estado e do Governo da União Africana, tomo a palavra para presidir a esta cimeira extraordinária da nossa organização continental, dedicada ao Programa Integrado para o Desenvolvimento da Agricultura em África, em representação de Sua Excelência Mohamed Ould Ghazouani, Presidente da República Islâmica da Mauritânia e Presidente em exercício da União Africana. Começo por manifestar a minha mais profunda gratidão à Sua Excelência Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President
Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, and to the people of the Republic of Uganda for hosting this important event of the African Union, and for the warm welcome and hospitality reserved to all of us since our arrival in this beautiful city of Kampala. Allow me to convey also our congratulations and to all the delegates present here and to all the peoples of Africa on the occasion of this new year, 2025. This May 2025 be synonymous with major achievements and prosperity for all African nations and for all citizens of our continent.
Minhas senhoras, meus senhores, a conjuntura internacional dos últimos anos recorda-nos continuamente que a agricultura, muito mais do que uma atividade econômica, é a chave do nosso desenvolvimento sustentável e uma fonte inesgotável de novas oportunidades para as famílias africanas. Esta cimeira deve ser vista como uma oportunidade para analisarmos o que foi feito até aqui, desde a aprovação do Programa Integrado para o Desenvolvimento Agrícola em África, em 2003, por via da Declaração de Maputo e da aprovação da Declaração de Malabo, em 2014, e o que resta fazer ainda para podermos tomar as melhores decisões tendentes a corrigir os erros cometidos e, desta forma, traçarmos as linhas que nos conduzam ao cumprimento
paths that can lead us to the achievement of our major objectives, that is the elimination of poverty and ensure food sovereignty in Africa. Allow me to state that relatively the Malaba Declaration, as well as the efforts that have been made, despite all this, we are far away from our objectives, especially the implementation of our commitments related to the transformation and shared transformation and prosperity, and also the shared living conditions. So these objectives contained in the 2063 agenda and the Agenda 2030 and the African Union Agenda of 2063. During our meeting, we should arrive at the requisite consensus on the approval of the integrated program for the development of agriculture in Africa for the next 10 years, that is 2026 to 2025, as well as the Kampala Declaration, in a way that will strengthen and renew the directives issued by the heads of government during the Malabo Summit. So this document, a directive, they discern the decisive parts for our collective efforts in order to achieve African aspirations for development and progress of our peoples. So on behalf of all the delegations here present, I would like to seize this opportunity to commend the African Union Commission, especially through the development of agriculture and rural development, the blue economy, sustainable development, and the African Development Agency and NEPAD that have done an excellent job, and a commendable one for that matter. So this strategy, this renewed strategy, is the product of the collaboration of member states of Africa, of the private sector, as well as private companies and regional economic committees and our development partners. We would like to seize this opportunity also to make an appeal to our collective responsibility. And now I would like to highlight specifically the contribution of African institutions such as the 63 Academy and all Pan-African institutions that have helped us to overcome our common challenges like resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, it is important to refer to the document that we are going to approve at this summit, constitutes the landmark document of our continent. We will move to the transformation of our agri-food systems in order to lay the framework of sustainable development. We will come out of this summit with new directives for the concretization of new objectives, given the fact that it is important and imperative for us to implement our decisions and double efforts in order to achieve all the targets outlined in the various action plans. Then I urge the African Union Commission to come up with mechanisms for the implementation, successful implementation of these instruments and the strategies for the next 10 years, and work in close collaboration with member states in order to claim ownership and integrate these strategies and resources in our national plans so as to promote agriculture. We would like to recall that the content of the Malabo Declaration, namely 10% of our national budget should be devoted to agriculture, since, as you know, the financial conditions that all our countries are confronted require such an initiative. We know that the action plan of CAADP is based on this particular pillar, which constitutes the promotion of food security, stimulate investment and enhance investment, and financing and processing and other inputs in order to develop an agriculture that will ensure food self-sufficiency and food security. Fertilizers play a major role in agricultural productivity, and production. So in this regard, and this is specifically stated in the Nairobi Declaration concerning, for example, soil and health, and national plans have been worked out, and this require our attention for the enhancement of the agricultural sector in Africa. I would like to underline also the importance of agricultural mechanization, the acceleration of the implementation of production systems, and the certification of fertilizers and seeds in our various countries, the enhancement of rural agriculture and the improvement of irrigation systems, so that all these factors together can help to promote modern agriculture with a high level of productivity and competitiveness, with the capacity to produce products for external market, I would also underline the importance of promoting initiatives geared towards the promotion of the environment and the proper ecological production of goods, with the objective of intensifying or to mitigate desertification and the preservation of soils. And as a result, we can then overcome climate change. Ladies and Excellencies, the decisions we are going to take today will determine the future of agriculture in Africa, as well as the role that we played to ensure the sustainability of our continent. So it's important that our priority, the priority of all our nations, is that we should take into account, we should ensure the development of our countries, that is food security, and to ensure inclusive development, giving priority to agriculture, so that we are empowering our women and youths and creating opportunities for them, for coming generations. Together we can ensure that our Africa is a resilient and prosperous continent designed to reduce poverty and overcome famine, disease, determined in our mission to achieve an Africa that we all want. So on with these words, I declare open this extraordinary session of Kampala, and I thank you for your kind attention.
Muito obrigado, Excelência Presidente.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your guiding speech for us in the continent, especially to our department.
I would like to end the opening ceremony, and let me invite the protocol to guide us on the group photo. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
I wish to invite Your Excellencies, Heads of States and Government, His Excellency the Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Heads of Delegation from AU Member States, Your Excellencies, former Heads of States and Government, Her Excellency the Deputy Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Their Excellencies AU Commissioners, Heads of AU organs and regs, for a group photo on the stairs in front of this conference room. To the other delegates, kindly remain seated while our leaders proceed for the group photo. After the group photo, we will take a 20 minutes coffee break, followed by cross session. Thank you once again for your participation. Your Excellencies, I've just been also informed that heads of delegations from development partners will also participate in the photo. Thank you very much.
About